Now let's move on to use this material in a new graph. We can create a new graph first, so we're going to create a new substance and hit OK. Now we can go back and drag our paddle cushion to the new graph. You can see we have two dots. One is the material, another one is the button alpha, which is the custom output we created in the previous course. Here, if you go open this viewing mode, you can actually change the connection into the expanded version. Now you can see we have the base color, normal, roughness, metallic, all the way to AO. Now all those things are grouped together with a dark alt background, and that's actually the group we have. If you go back to the paddle cushion by double clicking on it, you can take a look at the base color. You can see it does have a material group, and our button alpha, however, doesn't have that. So that's why if you go back to the new graph, when you have dragged it in, it will have all the material element grouped all together, but this button alpha will be a separated guy. So that if you select it and go back to standard, or you can use 1, 2, 3 to toggle those settings, you can see this dot will not be combined with the others. Okay. Anyway, now if we drag this guy and connect it to all the nodes, all the output, we see everything, but we don't see the ambient occlusion we have. The reason is because we don't even have a AO output here. Now we can create one more time here, or just like we did earlier, we can also go ahead and copy our output node from the paddle cushion. So we can grab the AO here, Control C, and back to the new graph, and Control V. Now we can delete all the connections and reconnect. You can see that it's automatically detecting this AO. It's still not showing up. It's because if you add a new channel, you have to initiate the material here in the 3D view. So you can just drag this graph in, or you can right click and view output in 3D view. Okay, anyway, so what I want to do is blend a metal material, and that metal material will be on top of this button. To do so, I need a metal material, and here underneath the library, underneath PBR material, we have a metal, and there are some metal material we can use. Let's drag the second one and put it into the graph. Now this metal, if you select it and hit 3 or 2, you can see it does have also all the material element we need, including the ambient occlusion. So we have exactly the same amount of output. And to blend those together, we can use a material blend node, which is this guy. Let's hit the 3 button, and I'm going to connect the metal to the top and the paddle cushion to the bottom. And we can right mouse drag this to the 3D viewport to view the result. You can see now we are getting all metal. So I don't want that. So let's drag this button alpha to the graph. You can see I kind of want the button to be on the other areas. So maybe we need to swap the two objects. So let's try to drag it in the viewport, or just drag it over here. I think we're getting the correct color. I'm not seeing things correctly here. One thing I'm suspecting that could be the reason is the AO is actually not connected, so let's take a look at why. We can grab this guy and hit the 2 button, and you can see the material blend doesn't really have a AO output. However, it does have a specular and a glassness. So the input and output of this blend material can be actually turned on and off. You can double click and go to these channels. You can see some of the things are off. Ambient occlusion is one of them. So I'm going to delete this guy. I'm going to create a new material blend. and I need to toggle those things correctly before I do my connection. So I don't have any diffuse. I have the base color, I have normal, I don't have specular, so let's turn that off. I don't have glossiness, I have roughness and metallic. Specular level, I don't have that. I need ambient occlusion. Alright, so this is actually the correct combination of my channels. And let me reconnect these things. Oops, the wrong order again. So this goes up, this goes down, and the alpha goes here. Alright, now let's reconnect to the material. Now you can see we're getting the proper results. Okay. Alright. Now one of the things you are noticing is maybe the normal map is, or the bump map is actually run on the metal, because the metal part doesn't really pop up, and we're replacing the hat. So what I can do is I can use the hat map from my pedal cushion on the metal also. We can redo the connection here. Let's organize the things. And we can use our hat map here. We can actually change that back to standard so we can drag individual ones. We can use this hat as the hat of the metal also, so that we're using our original hat map for the button, okay, from the pedal cushion. Anyway, with that set it up, we can go ahead and tweak some of the settings. Like I think it's too shiny. The metal is just too shiny. So let's take a look at the metals, and let's see if we have some settings underneath the parameters. Oh, just to show you that underneath the pedal cushion we do have the repeat amount and imperfection amount. Those two global variables, we set it up. We can tweak them here to repeat more, and we can grab the imperfection amount to tweak that too. Right. Okay. So here on the metal, we can also look for those setup that people have done on this guy. Maybe it can be darker. And I think I kind of want it to be lesser shiny. So let's see if we have that setting. The advanced parameters age. It's just the imperfection here. We can preview it there. Metal roughness is probably the one we're going to use. So we're going to make it rougher, and maybe we can go back to the brightness. It's not very good. I think it's not a very good material. I don't see much detail here. Let's see. Lower down the edge and change the roughness. And let's lower down the luminosity. Okay, that looks a little better. Maybe I can crank up the edge. Anyway, so just to show you how we use those materials, how we combine them using the material blend. This is more like a introduction level tutorial. I don't want it to go too deep on what's going on, so we're not going to go too far. We can double click here, and in the we can go back to the pedal cushion. One of the things I need to tweak is here, double click in the empty space, go all the way to the top. Here we have the settings, parent times 4. Let's lower that down back to parent times 1, and we're gonna save it. Because here we were having a 4K, and when we toggle it back, it's only 512. We can tweak the entire resolution here. We can double click in the empty space. We can crank this up. Now you can see everything gets updated here. Wow, that's how much. It's 4K. We're getting some pretty interesting results. It's not as good as before, actually. I'll lower down to 2K. I like this result better. I think cranking that up too much may have affected how my internal structure works inside. I may need to go back and check what's going on, but I think this is good enough already. I mean 4K, right? That's probably the highest you would go anyways. So resolution does have some limitations, I guess. Anyway, so when we're done with this, we can also make this a material asset that we can use later on in other packages. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually expose the importing control to the input parameters of our new graph here. So I need a few controls. Those two will all be there. So I'm going to click here and also expose these two into this level. So repeat amount. I think the repeat amount is actually good. So let's hit OK. We can do the same thing here. Expose and hit OK. Now the setting will not be here anymore. It's actually now on the input parameters of our current new graph. Okay, we can do the same thing for the metal if we want to control the shining. You know how shiny it is. So some of those things here, like luminosity, we can expose this to. I can use luminosity. Okay, and we can also say one of the things I think is important is the roughness. So let's go expose this to metal roughness. Hit OK. Right now we have a few settings. Metal roughness here, and control the roughness of the metal. And we can control the imperfection amount. Okay, so we have a bunch of controls here already. You can toggle on this eye to look at it and see how it looks like from a user's point of view. You have some basic parameters and advanced parameters. Okay, you have some of these guys. Okay, can turn that off. This grouping here, you can do that here too if you wanted to. Like those two are for the leather, so we can open that. We can give a group and call it leather. And you can see we have a leather as the group. We can also put it here also. So now if you go to the user view, you can see we have a leather group, and then we have repeat amount and imperfection amount, and the basic parameters. Those two are for the metal. Okay. Anyway, let's say we're happy with our final result of this material. Okay. And let's go ahead and save it. So go save, and we're gonna call this pedal cushion with metal button. Okay. And we can also grab it, and we can also publish it, and we can publish to the substance, maybe here substance materials. We can give it the same name and save it, and we can hit OK. Now this substance is being saved, and we can actually go ahead and use it in other packages now. So we're going to do that just to show you how it works in the next tutorial.